everybody, and welcome to another live episode of The Grid. My name is Scott Kelby. That's not important, because with us today we have a very special guest. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. Terry White is in the house. How are you, my friend?
I'm good. You know, it was funny, as you were starting to say the opening, I was about to say, hey, everybody, welcome to The Grid.
I would have let you do it.
I'm so used to doing openings.
No, we can do it again.
No,
Juan will take the jib down on the whole night. We'll do it again. All right, so pretend like we're not on. Just run the intro again. So, Jason, just run the intro.
See what he does to amuse me. This is awesome.
No, I want you to do it. You're so good. You're like a pro. All right, we got to do this again. Hang on.
Let me know.
Don't.
Yeah. Hey everybody, and welcome to The Grid. My name is Terry White, and I am joined with the illustrious Scott Kelby.
Well, thank you, Terry. Thanks for having me on.
How are you?
I'm great. I'm really great. Great to be here in Florida.
Good.
Having a good time.
It's your first time on The Grid?
No, actually, I was on The Grid last year once. It was a lot of fun. Jen was here. Hi, Jen.
I remember that.
Good to see you, Jen.
I remember.
We've got a studio audience. Yeah. Chris Dalton, everybody's here.
Awesome.
All the crew's here today. Hey, there's Juan, right? I've seen you on the show. He looks just like he does like on the show when he comes through.
Yeah, you're not supposed to acknowledge the production people.
Oh, sorry. Sorry.
We like it. We do.
Jen goes, we like it. We do.
I'm kidding. No, the production people do an amazing job.
So what's on the show today, Terry?
We're going to do an open Q&A today. Today's open Q&A, you get to ask us anything, and we may answer it. Then again, we may not.
So we can talk about Photoshop?
We can.
Adobe?
Yep.
Lightroom?
Absolutely.
Adobe Spark?
Yes.
Can we talk about the Lightroom CC, Lightroom Classic thing?
That's what people want to know about, sure.
That's what I want to know about, Terry. How did you let this happen? No, I'm just kidding. That's not a question. We're only taking questions from the audience.
Hi, Deb.
Hey, everybody's here. Everybody's checking in from all over today. Oh, look at this. Rose Kieran from New Zealand. That's what the NZ means. She says, I'm watching on my big screen, and I'm excited to hear what Terry White has to say. I am, too. What are you going to say?
I'm going to say, hello, Rose. How are you? How is it in the NZ?
In the Ooh, the NZ.
The NZ.
Rose, do you ever call it the NZ?
Probably
do you ever
not.
What's up in the NZ?
What's up in the NZ?
Donna's here from South Georgia. She's
Hey,
waving.
Donna. Hey, Donna. Donna waves.
Brenda's here from Fort Wayne. And Chikinando says, hi, Scott. Congratulations once again on the 5 million mark. Oh,
What does that mean? Like 5 million steps or?
that's funny, Terry. Well, if you're thinking it has to do with this award on my desk sent to me from my publisher for selling 5 million books, boy, are you wrong. So they announced it at the last, we got fingerprints on it and stuff. At the last Photoshop World, my publisher announced that it's actually 5.6 million books, but they said it would look stupid to say 0.6. So anyway.
I think they should have done 0.6.
But the award just arrived yesterday, and I was just as excited because you know what happened? Since they announced it last July, I completely forgotten about the actual award. And when it appeared yesterday, it was like winning it all over again.
Well, congratulations, buddy. Well deserved.
Well, there are a whole lot of people. When you write a book, you have to do a lot of typing, but a lot of other people do stuff. Kim Doty, my editor, is just amazing. And
Kim is amazing.
She has to read we'll turn it towards Juan there. She has to read everything I write, which her brain has got to be total mush. But she's an amazing editor and just so much fun to work with. And Jessica Maldonado is my designer. And the two of them, honestly, I couldn't do without them. They are so great and such a joy to work with. They really are. I can't say enough about them. And of course, my thanks to Peach Pit Publisher, Peach Pit Press, my publisher. They're awesome, and they got me this wonderful trophy. And it's just I'm very excited.
That is a
very neat.
huge milestone.
You know how I want to celebrate this, Terry?
By hitting 10 million?
No, by giving away some stuff. Let's give away some stuff. Let's give away today on the show. It's a Plata Pod. We're going to give away a Plata Pod Max. But wait, Terry,
yeah?
I want you to sit back because I've got some Plata Pod news. Are you ready for this?
I'm ready.
Plata Pod went international. You can now get the Plata Pod in Canada, even though Canada's not really another country. It's part of America. And I believe you can get them now in England, England. Look at that. And we're going to give away the Plata Pod Ultra. So unfortunately, here's the bad thing. Since you couldn't really buy these like overseas, like if someone won one from overseas, they would drive around the town like they drive around Sweden with their top down, just showing everybody, I got a Plata Pod and you can't get one. But now you can get them in other places like England and Canada.
Cool.
So that's actually pretty big news. So we're going to give away an Ultra today. And if you've never used a Plata Pod, they look like this. Where is my Plata Pod?
You've got one right here.
No, I have one like open that I use to show what it is, and it's like,
oh, someone stole it.
but it's like my Plata Pod is the one I use for like trips and I just heard something coming in from the control room. What did they say? Oh, okay. Anyway, I would show you what it does. I'll have to find one. We do have one here. Juan's probably pawned it or something. Juan, a lot of stuff you leave around here, and then later you see pictures. Juan showing it on his Instagram page. By the way, have I mentioned Juan's Instagram page? I don't know.
I follow Juan. He followed me back.
I follow Juan.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah, he does. Anyway, so thank you, Chiquinando, for the shout out there. So we're giving away those, and we're going to give away one of these books that hasn't sold. This one's still here sitting on our desk. And it's not going to sell. Do you know why this book's not going to sell? Because we're going to give it away today free on the show. This is How Do I Do That in Photoshop? Do you know where I got the contents from this book? I would call up Terry White and say, hey, Terry, how do I do that in Photoshop? And when he answered it, I would type in the answer. All right, we're giving away Plata Pods. We got a Max. We got an Ultra. We got the book. Dream Date with Terry White. It's all here. So today on the show, we're taking...
MacBook Pro.
No, we're not giving away your MacBook Pro, but if you really want to.
MacBook Pro.
No, mine's too new. All right. So, there's Juan's Instagram. All right there. Let's see what's new, Juan.
Ooh,
the number
follow Juan.
38. I'm not sure what that means. It's just a random number. Certainly not his birthday. And other stuff on Juan's page. Looks like Juan's been in New York recently.
Wow.
There's one with Meredith.
Stepping it up.
Yeah, his stuff is looking good, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Great job, Juan.
So it's Juan Alfonso. It's underscore, right? Underscore? Because there was all the Juan Alfonsos were taken. Underscore Juan Alfonso. I always say, if you're going to add a character in the front of your name, make it one no one can see. Underscore Juan Alfonso.
Ooh, it's getting pretty shady in here.
That was a little shade, wasn't it? Sorry, I take it back, Juan.
Lights went down.
All right. Frank's here. Blue Tie's here from Denver. Joseph's here from Seattle. Donna says, the drone man. Speaking of that, Terry.
Yes.
Aren't you doing a drone class on the brand new Mavic Air?
I think that is the plan.
Didn't you just do an Adobe Spark class?
I did. I came down here to do a class to teach people all about how they can be productive with Adobe Spark. Adobe Spark Post,
Adobe Spark
Video,
and Page.
and Adobe Spark Page. Coming soon to Kelby One.
You did that really well.
I practiced.
Anyway,
I stood in the mirror like for
no,
half
but you know
hour
what?
today.
I use Adobe. I use Spark Page a lot, and since I've been using it a lot, I've been getting so many questions. I get so many questions just about all the stuff. So we reached out to the Spark team and said, "Hey,
Yep.
we want our members to know about Spark because it's becoming the thing." And they said, "We happen to have a guy down in Atlanta who's an expert at Spark." I go, "It's not Terry, is it?" They're like, "Oh yeah," and I go, "Got anybody else?" They said, "Nope."
I know.
It's Terry or nobody, so we
right.
took Terry. Anyway, that's exactly how it came down, all that stuff. Okay, back to our story. Today is open question day, so we're answering questions about anything, about Photoshop, about Lightroom, about lighting, about whatever. I write an open Q&A column in Shutterbug magazine every month.
What kind of questions do you get?
It's interesting. On Shutterbug, I get some really, really good questions about lighting and about flash. But I get some of the most specific questions, Terry, you've ever heard. And I can't answer those. Some of those I just answer right back to the person because it wouldn't be right in the magazine because they'll say, so Scott, I used this service in Portland to scan my images. And when they returned them, there was a green cast. And I called them and they went out of business. So then, I mean, it's like one of these stories that it's a winding road that just goes off into the winding road land. And I realized the readers, of Shutterbug, I try to put questions in there that readers ask that, well, a lot of people could get something about.
Got it.
A lot of times it's like, I'm going to take a trip. What kind of lens should I use?
Yep.
I get Lightroom questions. I get Photoshop questions. So this is kind of a live version of the Shutterbug column. And what's great about it is I know some stuff, but Terry knows all the things that I don't know. So if I'm stumped, I just do this. Watch. I go, Terry,
Scott.
and then he'll know.
Yeah, I do know my name. Yeah.
He does know his
That
name,
works.
which is, that's really good. Anyway, so I talked about the Canada thing. Hey, did I mention, you guys know I'm doing a Venice workshop. It's sold out. It's sold out. I have a waiting list. I'm so excited. Me and Mimo, we're going to be in Venice.
I'm so jealous I'm not going to be there.
I got such a great team. I came up with a name for my group.
What is it?
Team Fettuccine. I even made a logo this weekend for my workshop. Can I show? Hold on, let me get it.
Very
so
cool.
That's it. See, it says Scott on one of the hats and Mimo on the other hat. He's my co-teacher is Mimo. So yeah, so that's the official. That will be emblazoned on everything that we do.
This is the one question I've asked you for years. Where do you find the time to do stuff like this?
You know what the problem is, Terry? I don't really have the time to do stuff like this, so it eats into my regular everyday life when I should be doing things like sleeping or, anything else, really.
Got it.
I wind up doing this.
Very cool logo, by the way.
It didn't take very long. It's all stock photos from Adobe Stock.
Well, thank you.
They're all stock images. So I got like a stock, and these are all Illustrator images. I put them together in Illustrator, and then I took them over to Photoshop for a little bit of retouching.
Very nicely done.
All right, well, thank you. So anyway, send in your questions. We'll be happy to answer them for you here. Let's see this. So Jay Bruno says, my 11-year-old grandson, who got Photographer of the Year in the amateur category in our group, wants to know if Scott likes Minecraft. All right, Jay Bruno, I got to be honest with you. I love Minecraft. So my daughter, I have a 12-year-old daughter. I have a Minecraft account. We get on there. We do challenges. She is really, really fast. She can build like buildings and stuff. And she always gives me some tasks like, you put the wall around the building. She always, because I'm just so slow. But, it's like, I always have to ask her, I always have to, like, where do I find, like, wood? And she's like, you go up into your, and she'll have to tell me where it's at. She has to remind me of the keyboard shortcuts. But I actually like Minecraft quite a bit. Now, I'm playing with my daughter. It's different than just, I don't get on Minecraft when she's not on. And I'm like, hey, I'm on Minecraft when no one's looking. Call of Duty, I do get on Call of Duty when no one's on. But I don't get on my Minecraft. And now last night on Steam, we played a brand new game on Steam called Paladin last night. So that's our new game we're playing again tonight. So we're playing Paladin, which is kind of like Overwatch. She calls it a cheap ripoff of Overwatch is her exact words on Steam. Her words, not mine. Hashtag sad, hashtag fake news. All right, so that's for Jay Bruno. Let's see. Jock wants to know, Terry, got any Iceland tips? So
I do.
You've been to Iceland a couple times
His
now.
name is Einar.
Yeah, call Einar.
Call Einar.
Can I tell you what the best tip is? If you're going to Iceland, right, Terry?
Yeah,
Who do they call?
Einar.
Why?
Because he knows Iceland like the back of his hand
He's the king of
in
Iceland.
a way that no one else knows Iceland.
Let me ask you a question, Terry. I want you to be honest.
Yeah.
Who knows their topic better? Does Einar know Iceland better than you know Atlanta?
Oh, yeah. That's not even a question. That's not even a contest. But no, seriously, tips for Iceland. Don't overpack gear. Enjoy the scenery. Enjoy the time you're there. It's a small country, meaning that Iceland literally could fit in like the state of Kentucky. It's that small, but there's so much to see. Don't spend too much time in one spot. There'll be waterfall. You'll stop at the first waterfall and you'll want to shoot it to death or you want to experience it to death. And then you'll get in the car and drive for 5 minutes and there's another one. And 5 more minutes, there's another one. And so you don't have to stay at any one spot for an extended period of time because there's just so much to see. Time of year probably makes a big difference too, because it just depends, weather-wise, what you'll run into. But those are my Iceland tips. Call Einar.
There you go. Terry, Michael Dow is asking, would the Mavic Air be adequate for the occasional commercial work? So if you're doing, just like it says, drone-based, but...
Well, it's a 4K, 100 megabit camera. I think it would be great for the occasional commercial work.
Yeah. Now, if you were going to do this all day for your living, right?
Yeah, then I would want something with longer battery life,
But you,
even a bigger
wouldn't
camera.
even go to a Mavic Pro. You'd probably
No,
go to
I'd
what,
probably go to a Phantom 4 minimum at that point.
Or an Inspire.
Or an Inspire 2. It
Or
depends
a
how much
U.S.
commercial-
Air Force drone that's weaponized?
Yes.
No?
It depends on how much commercial work we're talking about. But you said occasional, so a Mavic Air would be fine for occasional commercial work.
All right. Hey, Terry Lee Calkins asks, why won't Lightroom play my latest videos? So they have a Nikon D500, and they have, looks like an iPhone 8, and they said they used to play, but they don't now in Lightroom. Terry.
If it's something that used to play or used to work and now it doesn't, the question you'd have to ask yourself is, well, what changed? And people will be quick to say, well, nothing's changed. Did you do any updates? Oh, of course. Did you do any system updates? Well, of course. Did you do any software update? Of course. Well, those are all things that changed that could have impacted that video not playing back anymore. But best case scenario is if you can't narrow down what changed or can revert back or troubleshoot some things, then just contact Adobe customer support. That's what they're for. They have a database of people calling in and asking the same questions you are. Like, I don't know, it's news to me that camera won't play video back in Lightroom, but they may have 10 cases and they may have already solved it.
Do you have a D500? No, you don't. You have a...
I have a D810, hopefully one day soon to be a D850.
Just wanted to upgrade.
I do want to upgrade.
All right. Jay Bruno wants to know, would Spark Page be useful for brochures and such?
Yes.
Now, wouldn't like... No,
I mean, you could use it for that.
It's not really suited for that.
It's not what I would use it for, but you could.
Yeah, Spark Page is really a photo storytelling site.
Right.
Right. So can you real quickly go through what the 3 Spark things are?
So Spark Post is for social media posts. In other words, you want to create posts for your Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook story, whatever it is, that will give you the proper format for the page, let you bring in your images, let you put text on it, even let you animate it if you want to create an animated video. That's what Spark Post is. Spark Video is a very clever video editing app that's not really a video editing app because you don't really edit videos, you create videos. So you import images or you type text or you import videos and you can narrate each one like a slideshow. But then when you play it all back together, it's one continuous, seamless video. Last but not least, Spark Page is the ability to do storytelling via an HTML5 page. So it's like each Spark is one long page. It could be as short or as long as you want it to be. And same thing, you're inputting your own photos, video links, hyperlinks, your own text, formatting, and then when you're at the end of the day, when you hit publish, you have a link to an HTML page that you can share with anyone.
But you know what? Beyond that, though, it looks like a magazine article, and I think that's one of the things. Like it can look really beautiful. It can look great. And so this is the Adobe Spark homepage where there's all kinds of different stuff. But I think the Spark page can really look like if you were writing in a nice magazine. I think it's very nicely done. Some more questions here. First, Donna has a statement. It's not a question, but I'm reading it anyway. Donna says simply, we love Terry.
Oh, well, thank you.
We love. The emphasis was on the word love. Let's see. For Scott and Terry, this is from N. Robbins Photo, asks, when traveling, what do you use for packing your travel camera setups? Terry.
People that work cheap. I'm kidding. It was a joke. I get people to pack it for me. No one packs it for me. So when traveling, what do you use for packing your travel camera setups? Mostly for me, it is Think Tank. So Think Tank bags. As a matter of fact, there's one right there. There's a travel setup with I know, that was like pretty impressive right there. So there's a Think Tank bag as number 2 at the top. And then there's just a standard regular Targus backpack on the one.
Go through like security at the airport.
Actually, this trip, that was my second trip to Iceland. No security airport issues at all with all that gear. Not a single stop, not a single question. What is this? I had more problem coming back from Iceland the first year with my laptop than I did with all that extra gear.
Interesting. All righty. So let's see. Rose says a drone flew over Auckland Airport here in New Zealand the other day and held up planes at the airport. It was an hour before it disappeared. Yeah, there's a whole thing about that. Well, technically, there is built into your drone. There is, and they're updated frequently. There is basically a map of no-fly zones, and it restricted areas where your drone actually will not fly into. But you're also supposed to realize that you're not allowed to fly if there is perhaps a an unpaved airport or something like that. There are a number of rules that you have to be sensible to follow. If you're flying your drone around the airport, you're a moron. I mean, it's just...
Well, and it's just, you got to wonder why people do the things they do. Even before drones, people were, remember the whole thing where people were pointing lasers?
Right, at the pilots.
As they were coming in. So it's like funky. People are just, they ruin it for the rest of us.
I don't think you really have to. You're not supposed to have to tell people, hey, don't fly your drone at the airport because planes are landing. I mean, it's like you shouldn't really have to tell people that, but apparently, we have to. All right, hey, we're going to take a short break. When we come back, we have lots of comments and lots of questions coming in.
Questions are great.
So, don't go away. We'll be back. Terry White's here. He's answering your questions. I have more stupid illustrations to show, so don't go away.
This segment of The Grid is brought to you by Tamron, professional photographic lenses.
Hey, we're back. Scott Kelby here with Terry White. Just a couple of quick things before we launch. We got a ton of questions. We're going to be in rapid fire mode now. We've got so many questions, but just want to mention Photoshop World registration is now opening. You know who's teaching the Photoshop World? That's not me, but is on the grid set today. Terry White.
I am. It is my favorite conference to teach at.
Well, thank you, Terry. What are you teaching at Photoshop World this year?
I don't know.
Oh, good. I love that you're so prepared.
Classes on Lightroom. I'm teaching classes on Adobe Stock. I think we're going to swap the Muse class out for something else, but my usual round of classes.
All right. Some Lightroom, a little bit of Lightroom, yep. Terry. All right. Well, that's coming up here in just a few months. So sign up now while you save some money. And if you're a Kelby One member, you save a bunch of money too. All right, we got a bunch of questions coming up, but let's do it here on Open Q&A Day.
Let's go.
All right, here we go. First, this is a comment from Carl in Colorado. Hi, Terry. It's Scott. Always a great show when Terry's on. Agreed.
Well, thank you, Carl.
Kevin Scott says, hi, Scott and Terry. Congratulations on the award. Scottalicious. # fake news. Bob Baker says, not just 5.6 million books, but 5.6 million fantastic books. Congrats. Thank you, Bob. That was very nice to say. Dave Clayton in the house.
Dave Clayton's in the house.
All right, I got to say something about Dave Clayton real quick. He's my guest blogger today.
Is he?
Over on scottkelby.com, Dave Clayton did a wonderful guest blog, and it's about podcasting. And
Very
so
cool.
Go over and check out my blog at scottkelby.com. Dave Clayton today, one of the best guys on the planet. And Dave is actually coming in to do some classes. Hey, Jen and I were just meeting. Jen, do we have an amazing roster of people coming in?
Crazy.
Like unbelievable.
That we've ever had in all the years I've been.
Jen says the best
No joke.
lined up instructors that we've had in all the years that we've been doing this. I'd have to agree. I mean, we got everybody. We got from Peter Hurley to people that you haven't heard of, but you're going to fall in love with on a crazy level. I mean, seriously, we've uncovered some amazing, amazing talent out there. Jen's over there like this.
Yeah.
So Jen and I work together on finding all these people. And sometimes Jen finds people. Sometimes I find people. Jen finds the really good ones. And I found Terry. Anyway. This is so good. It's Throw a Shade
He gets to
with
do this.
D-Day.
He gets to do this in person now. This is fun.
Yeah, this is fun. It's usually over the phone.
Yeah.
All right. So anyway, a shout out to Dave Clayton. Kevin Halliburton says, it's been a year since I caught the grid live. Imagine my surprise at seeing Scott on the set. He was on last time I caught it. Yeah. So
Okay. Got it.
Terry's throwing shade on you now.
No,
Andre
I'm
says, hi, Scott and Terry. Greetings from the Netherlands. Woo! Love the Netherlands. You know what's in the Netherlands that I love? Frank Doerhoff. You know what else? Poldergold cheese. Also love that. Patrick says, what's the difference between Lightroom CC and Lightroom Classic? Terry.
Lightroom CC, brand new application for people that have ever said Lightroom's too hard. I don't know how to manage my photos. I don't know where my photos are. I want my photos backed up and stored at all times in the cloud. Lightroom Classic CC is the Lightroom you've known and used for over 10 years.
I'll leave it at that.
Yeah, it's just easier. Don't bring up slideshow. I know you.
No, I'm not. I'm not. I did a slideshow already here.
All right.
If you want to learn more, here's what I recommend doing. Go to our archives of the grid, and we did a show called Straight Talk about Lightroom CC, and I did a slideshow. We went through it, went into great detail. That hopefully will help. Bridget says, please let me know how Lightroom works. How's it work, Terry?
Well, is that meaning, like, does it work? Yes, it works amazingly well for me. Or
Works pretty good.
are you asking to teach you how it works? And if that's the case, head over to terrywhite.tv. I've got lots of videos on it, or Kelby1.
Thank you, Terry. Johan says, Terry, when is your book, Flying Drones for Dummies, coming out?
That would be an interesting book to write.
You know why? Because the life of a drone these days is about 4 weeks.
Well, number one, don't fly near an airport.
Don't fly in New Zealand, in Auckland, near an airport.
Number two, don't panic.
Terry, what do you do if you panic? Like you're flying your drone and you're just all of a sudden you're just freaking out because this happens. That's like one of the main.
I know. That's why people
ways
crash
people
drones.
Crash.
Yeah.
What do you do?
Let go.
Just let go. Just let go of the controller.
All right.
Just let go. What's the second thing you can do?
Second thing is, and this is I watched one of our Adobe creative residents fly my Spark, and he was just like flat out, I'm not going to crash. This is his first time flying a drone. I'm not going to crash it. Oh my God, I would never crash a drone.
Is he millennial?
Yeah.
Okay. Here.
Anyway, sure enough, we were in a parking lot and plenty of room, but he was flying it near a van. And I'm just watching the whole thing. I'm not going to say a word because if you say something, sometimes that'll freak people out. And sure enough, he got close to the van, and then it just lightly hit the van and fell. And all you had to do, because he lost his orientation, he couldn't just determine which way to do the controls. Go up. There was nothing above him. He could have gone straight up and then figured it out. But the drone just ended up drifting right into the van. No damage to the van, no damage to the drone, but all you had to do in that case was just go straight up.
Straight up. All right, there you go. Rubino Wen says, hi, Grid family. Rob Sylvan says, hi, everybody.
Hey, Rob.
Peter says, I use Spark Post a lot, but it would be great to learn more about the others. You know, Peter, we should do a class. We should do an entire class, Peter, just on all of the Spark stuff. What do you think if I get an Adobe evangelist to come here to our headquarters and literally put an entire class together all on Adobe Spark?
That would be an amazing idea.
Wouldn't that be great?
That would be great.
You know anybody?
Let me think about it and get back to you.
All right, thanks.
All right.
Andres says, Scott, what's your impression of the new Ellen Chrome ELB 500? Andres, I have no idea. No idea whatsoever. So there's an ELB 500. My impression is, I don't know a thing about it. Sorry. Sharma Sherry says, hi, everybody. And she also says, hi, Jen. Oh, it's Sharma. Sharma helps me. Sharma assists me in the studio and on location. It's that Sharma.
It's that Sharma.
I just always called her just Sharma. I never said her full name like that.
There you go.
It's like there's certain people that you only use their first name, like Cher or, something, right? Madonna, Cher, Sharma. All right. Eric Kuna. Eric! T-Cat says, hi, Scott and Terry. So normally Eric would walk in the studio. Eric's homesick. He's sick.
Oh, I thought he was all shooting rockets or
he's
something.
sick. He's got the sickies. He doesn't have the super sick. He doesn't have the flu, but I think it's I don't know. It's something.
Get well soon, Eric.
Get well soon, Eric. D-Cats, Kuna, man. And just in Eric's honor, I'd just like to say, you can get things to help you feel better on Amazon. You have to drink up. What's the thing?
Oh, sorry.
All right. Ed Maher says, Venice, Florida? No, the workshop is in Venice, Italy. All righty. Peter Noonan wants to know, when do you sleep? I do it when I'm driving. When do you sleep?
Mostly when I'm teaching classes.
There you go. Theo says, did you ever sleep in a hammock? I've slept in a hammock. You ever slept in a hammock?
I've laid down in a hammock and found it very comfortable, but I don't think I fell asleep.
Dude, I have zonked in a hammock. Oh my gosh.
I love hammocks. I've just never slept in one.
All right. So Robert Hatch asked, PS4 or Xbox? Xbox One. Absolutely. Xbox or PS4?
Xbox.
Xbox. Terry's an Xbox guy. All right. Steve says, Scott, Will Adobe ever add the ability to organize shared collections with collection sets in Lightroom Mobile or on the lightroomadobe.com webpage? Terry, any thoughts? Because I'm thinking...
My answer to that is ever is a very long time. It's
Is it
possible.
likely it's going to happen soon?
You never know.
Well, I don't know for sure, but I wouldn't hold my breath for that. Only because, and I don't know what their roadmap is, but I'm out there teaching this seminar, right? And I'm talking to thousands of people each year in person. Like I'm talking to them on breaks, I'm talking afterwards, I'm answering questions all day long. I've never had a single person ask me for that. That doesn't mean that it's not legit, but if people are asking me that every week, that means they're also asking Adobe. So you can go to Adobe's forums and you can post ideas or things that you want to see in Lightroom, right? And that's one of those things that I wouldn't hold your breath for. So things that I hear again and again and again, Adobe's hearing them again and again, and I figure, okay, one day we're going to get those. Ben asks, hi, Terry.
Hi.
That was it? No. He says, does Muse, Adobe Muse, have the ability to incorporate Spark pages in such a way that you can create a blog-style system without having to use WordPress, etc.? Terry?
The short answer is no, but let me explain quickly why not. Because neither Spark or Muse, and the question was really about Muse, have a database tied to them. And in order to have a blog, that's what WordPress technically is it's a database. You need a database. What you see on a blog is really the pretty HTML front end, but the actual post you write, the actual thing you write that says this is a blog post, goes into a database, and WordPress just displays it as an HTML page. So since neither Spark or Muse is a database, not likely to happen.
All right, there you go. Oh, that sounded legit. Sandra asks, so my 9-year-old son has taken over my old 60D with a 24 to 105 L glass, nice, and a Canon 10 to 20 millimeter. Still, he's a gearhead like his dad. What lens would you get for him next? So here's what I would say. So you've got the 20. Can you bring that? It just went away from the screen. It was on the screen and then again. So you've got the wide angle covered. You're at 24. Now, 24 isn't that wide, but you got a 10 to 20 and you're on a crop sensor body. I think you have the wide end covered. 105 is a little short on the long end. And I think there's so much fun to be had with long lenses. I think if you want to do something that's going to be pretty good and maybe negate having to use one of these, you might want to look at an 18 to 200. So an 18 to 200 would be a great lens on a 60D, and you'll get lots of reach. You'll have the wide angle, and your son won't have to keep changing lenses all the time. You can probably sell that 24 to 105 and buy a nice 18 to 200 and maybe take a trip someplace to go shooting. So, because the 24 to 105, it's a very, very nice lens, but it's in a focal range that's kind of it's like a shrug kind of focal length. I would get something longer. That would be my any thoughts to add to that, Terry?
Same thing. I would get a telephoto at this point.
Hey,
Next.
also, Terry, just can you give the web address for Enar? People are asking here, how do we get a hold of that Enar guy in Iceland?
Yes, Enar's website is Focus on Nature. So focusonnature.is for Iceland.
Why, there it is right there. Focus on nature.
And I
with
just
Enar.
magically made it appear. It was great.
And Enar, he's the king of Iceland. I'm telling you, everybody that goes there, if you really want to do it right, he knows places. He'll get you to places. He's got amazing transportation. He's got amazing contacts. He's a wonderful guy. You'll love him. Dave Clayton says, Scott and Terry, if you had to kill an existing Adobe app forever, which one would you choose?
I know which one you'd choose, but I want to hear you say it.
Which app I would kill?
It's the one you give. Think of all the apps you've given the most shade to in the course of Lightroom's history. What would it be?
Oh, Lightroom CC?
No.
What?
You've thrown shade on this app for years.
It's not Photoshop. I love Photoshop. It's not Lightroom. I love Lightroom.
If it's free.
Oh, the bridge. Oh, the bridge. If it's free, it's for me. Yeah, I would kill the bridge. Yeah,
I knew it.
The bridge is got,
I'm shocked it took you that long to get
Here's
to
what
it.
I would do. Can I give two parts? I would do two things. So let's just say that tomorrow that Shantanu, who's the CEO of Adobe, says, I want to step down, but I don't want to use any of the amazing experts we have here. I want Scott Kelby to be CEO. On day one, here's what I would do. 2 things. First, I would make Terry White president. Number 2,
Thank you.
I would go and I would change the name of Lightroom Classic. I don't need to change the Lightroom CC. I would change the name of Lightroom Classic to either Lightroom Pro or Lightroom Desktop. And then I would just retire and cash in all my options. Okay, so Terry, which one would you kill if you had a choice?
And it's easy for me because I can name apps that no one's ever used or heard of. So, for example, Adobe Prelude. Use that all the time, right? See, it's an easy one to kill.
What is
There you
it?
go. Adobe Prelude is a metadata logging app for videographers. Easy. I never use it because I don't do that workflow. So, Dave, that was piece of cake. Easy,
There you
easy
go.
app to kill.
All right. So we don't know this person's name because it's written in, I think it's Korean, and it says, "Hello, Mr. Terry. Wacom or a mouse for working with Photoshop?"
That's an easy one.
Easy.
Easy one. Short answer, a Wacom. I don't care how expensive or great or how many buttons your mouse has. You could buy the most expensive, fabulous mouse in the world, and it will still not be as good as the least expensive, cheapest tablet you can buy. Because the problem with the mouse, simple, short, and sweet, is a mouse button is either up or down. It's either off or on. So therefore, when you're brushing in Photoshop, retouching in Photoshop, doing anything in Photoshop, it's either 100% pressure or 0. With a tablet and a stylus, I've got thousands of levels of pressure. So I can press down just a little to make the brush a little bit bigger, press down a little to make a lighter stroke, or press down heavier to make the brush bigger or heavier stroke. No question.
Boom,
Thanks for the easy questions, by the way. These are great.
TJ Booth says, hey guys, I'm a big fan. What's the best way to build an impressive resume to land jobs with companies to be an in-house photographer or a graphic designer? Terry?
I don't know about the photographer part, but for the graphic designer part, it's really about not only, of course, in your resume, touting your abilities, your skills, the jobs you've had in the past, but really what's going to make or break your becoming an in-house photographer or graphic designer is really your portfolio.
Absolutely. That's
Because
what I was going to say.
at the end of the day, your resume just sums up your experience and your capabilities.
And it's puffed up with a bunch of lies.
Right. Don't lie on your resume. I've watched people's careers end because of a lie on a resume.
Sure.
It's not worth it. But don't lie on your resume. But at the end of the day, your resume just may get you into the door, may get you looked at, but then the first thing they're going to see is your work. So if your portfolio isn't kicking, that's the resume doesn't matter.
Yeah, really. I wouldn't, because let me put it this way. If 2 designers come in, one has an amazing portfolio and they say, I worked at one place, or I'm just out of school, or whatever, and the other one says, oh, I have certifications in this, and
right.
I could care less. Show me your work. I will tell you this, I got burned once.
Oh, yeah?
I got burned bad. So let me tell you how I changed this. A woman came in, had this really, really nice resume. I mean, this stuff looked great. Actually, I got burned twice. One was a web designer and one was a print designer. So the print designer brought me all this stuff and her work looked amazing. I'm like, wow, this is great. And we hired her. And then we started working. And she, it's almost like a different person was doing the design work. And
Because it probably was.
well, that's what we finally did. We finally went back and we said, you brought us this amazing portfolio and stuff. And did you design this stuff? Oh no, I was on the team that designed it. I did the layout of the type and stuff. Mm-hmm. So of course they didn't tell us when they're trying to get the job. They were literally one of a bunch of people. So there was an art director who actually did all the design work and said, okay, here, choose a font and put the type in here. Oh, by the way, the font should be Myriad Pro 12 point with 15 point leading.
All right.
And we got burned, and then that person wound up getting fired because they couldn't do it. And the exact same thing happened to me with a web designer, where a web designer said, I worked for this company and I was the web designer. And we loved their site. I knew the company, and I heard, oh, he worked with them. Oh my gosh, you got to come and work for us. And so we hired him, and then we realized that I think he was in like IT or something. He awful.
Yeah, well, then this is what I mean. Name a situation where someone got caught lying on their resume or their portfolio, and it worked out great for them.
Good point.
It never works out great for you.
Not.
It's a waste of time.
Kevin wants to know, have you ever flown, Terry, a unique drone? And he's wondering if you have an opinion on how they compare to the DJI.
I have not. I was tempted once to buy one because at one point they had a spec that DJI didn't have that I wanted, but I never did it. And DJI, whatever that spec was, got it. And so, no, I've never flown one. So therefore, I don't have an opinion on it.
Now, we got lots more questions, but it's time for a break. We're going to take a short break. When we come back, we have all kinds of questions from Theo and Alec and Chris and Theo again and Lisa and Johan and Chiquinando and a whole bunch more. So stick around. We're going to get to your questions. Terry White is our guest here. Juan is on the jib. Jen's on the whatever Jen's on. We'll be right back. The Jen thing.
This segment of The Grid is brought to you by Plata Pod, the world's most compact tripod base.
Hey, we're back. Scott Kelby here with Terry White. It's open Q&A day. We got a ton of Q&As. Just want to mention I'm going to be in Atlanta, Terry White's hometown. Are you taking me to dinner or anything?
It's possible.
Anyway,
Bring your credit card.
Bring your credit card. I will. Later this, can we go to the Vortex?
Sure.
All right. Later this month, we're going to be in Atlanta with my seminar tour. And then we're also going to go to Milwaukee, Wisconsin. And you know what I'm taking to Milwaukee with me? I'm taking a freaking can of spray cheese. And I'm going to go, dear Wisconsinites, this is cheese.
They're going to love you for showing them the real way.
I know, right? People appreciate that.
They always do.
They appreciate that. I think the people of Wisconsin will rise up and like maybe give me an award, maybe a parade or something.
You might become mayor or something.
Yeah, become mayor, like key mayor of the day for the day, you know? Because you show up with some Kraft Easy Cheese and people lose their minds. All right. Theo wants to know, will one or both of you visit the Netherlands this year, maybe for digital professional imaging? Terry, are you going to? No, you've spoken there.
I've spoken there before. It's
I know, because last time I spoke there, you were there.
Yeah, it's possible. I don't know that I'm going there this year, but it's possible. You never know.
You know what's bad is like we know the guy in charge of hiring the speakers, like Frank, and does he ask you and me?
Of course not.
Or some losers from out of town? Yeah, Theo, I'm going to have to say probably not.
Ooh, I like Alex's question.
Alex says, what is the most common post-production mistake in Lightroom or Photoshop? I know, I got mine.
I got mine.
All right, you go first.
Doing too much.
Dang it, that's mine.
Over-processing the
Yeah,
image.
over-processing that's exactly it. That's number one.
Knowing when to say enough is the best.
Yeah, it's like however much you think is right, just reduce it by 30%, you'll be good. Chris wants to know, am I going to the motocross event in Daytona? I didn't know there was a motocross event in Daytona, so probably not. Theo wants to know, which photographer, both of you know, is the funniest, craziest? I get to go first, because you'll steal mine again. That's like 3 of my answers.
I guarantee I won't steal this one.
All right. Hands down. All right, funniest, Joe McNally. Joe is really hilariously funny. Craziest, hands down, Peter Hurley. Peter Hurley is just wild, and Joe McNally is just freaking hilarious. So those are mine. Who are yours?
Scott Kelby.
Oh, come on.
No, he is. He cracks me up all the time.
You're just saying that because you're on the show.
That's why I knew you wouldn't steal mine.
Terry. Lisa says, so do you build multiple pages with Spark like a website, or is it just one page?
It's just one page. So think of it as, hey, I use Muse to build a website. Multiple pages that interact with each other and links and all that, because it's a presence that stays on the internet forever for your website. Spark page is about telling a story. So it's
Can you show us your Spark page? You had one up here a minute ago.
I can probably
Terry
do that.
had a nice one up here a minute ago.
Nope, not
Remember
that
I
one.
said it looks
This
like a magazine kind of thing style? Here, take a look at Terry's.
All right. So this is my most recent one from Iceland.
Iceland.
And really the whole page is about this trip. So Spark page, to answer your question, is one page. It's talking about that one story, that one idea, that one thing
There's
you're
Enar.
trying to convey.
Go
Yep,
back.
there's Enar right there.
Enar.
That's Enar's Adobe band, not mine. So Enar's the guy. He knows it inside and out.
Terry, can you go back? That looks like a drone shot.
That's a drone shot.
That's a droney dude.
There's a lot of drone shots in this one.
All right,
There's
Johan
Leonardo
wants to
again.
know, Scott, are you learning Italian for this tour? Or can you, so you can order fettuccine or spaghetti or lasagna in Italian? Johan, I already speak fluent Italian, and I'll do a little bit for you. Hey, it's me, Mario. We're gonna get us some fettuccine tonight, hey. So I think I'm covered. Jen? Yeah, Jen would know, because she's as Italian as I am. So Cheeky Nando wants to know, are you going to speak Portuguese when you're in Lisbon? No. He has a question for Terry. Terry, how many pictures can a Lightroom catalog handle? I got a number, but do you know what the number is?
I don't have an official number. I can tell you mine's over 200K, so 200,000 images in my catalog.
Adobe, I got this straight from the product
Okay.
managers. Adobe has users that have over 6 million images in their catalog, still running fine, still doing great.
I feel so inadequate at this moment.
Sorry, I didn't mean to do that. I did not mean to do that.
6 million?
Did
Ooh.
not mean to do that. But yeah, they have over 6 million, so, and they don't know. So no one's hit the number where it kind of breaks. So there you go. Jock says, where to stay in South Iceland? Now, Jock, I don't know South Iceland, I think of well, that would be kind of
Yeah, I don't.
Reykjavik.
Yeah.
I would just say this: South Iceland is not Reykjavik. It is south, but it's like south west.
Yeah, Reykjavik's like the city. You know.
In Reykjavik, I would just say this: it doesn't matter where you stay, but have breakfast at the Hilton there.
Yes.
Terry, how good is the breakfast
the
at the Hilton in
breakfast at the
Reykjavik?
Hilton was amazing.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
It was breakfast of the year.
It's not cheap, but it's good.
It's not cheap, but it's good. All right. Michael Ann says, or Michelin. That was it. Going to Iceland in August.
Yep.
How do I get in touch with Enar?
Focusonnature.is.
Debbie says, I have a dilemma. Should I go to Photoshop World or purchase a 7200 2.8? Debbie, I've got the perfect solution for you.
I got one too.
Go to Photoshop World and buy a 7200 f4.
Ooh.
Here's why. The f4 is going to be half the price, it's going to be half the weight, and it's going to look about the same. Now, if you know, like Scott, all I shoot is weddings, I'm always shooting in low light, and I don't have a camera that shoots well in low light, then you might want to get that extra, it's not even a full stop, is it really? From f2.8 to f4, it's
No,
not
it's
really
not
a full stop.
No.
It's like a half a quarter of a tenth of a 15th. Lenworth says, any trips for traveling to Dubai? Yeah, Lenworth, here's a trip for traveling to Dubai. Mind your manners when you're there. Dubai, you're going to feel like you're in Vegas. It's not Vegas. It looks like Vegas. It feels very American. You'll see a Five Guys. You'll see like P.F. Chang's. You'll see TGI Fridays, Dunkin' Donuts. You're going to feel like this is America transplanted someplace else. It is not. They have their own rules and regulations that are very different than ours. And so what I would do, my tips would be to go online and find out what the etiquette and proper way to behave in Dubai is. It's a great place. They're great. They're incredibly welcoming and they're really wonderful, but they have certain rules that you need to stick by, just like we have certain rules here in the United States that change daily. Let's see. Chiquinando says, does anyone know what the new class for this week is? Thank you for asking, Chiquinando. May I call you Chiquinando? Chiquinando. This week's class is called Learn Lightroom CC. That is the cloud storage-based version of Lightroom, the new one that Terry talked about. Learn Lightroom CC in 1 hour, and it is taught by one of my very favorite instructors. I could listen to this guy all day. It's me. I taught it. Anyway, Learn Lightroom CC in 1 hour. It's live this week, and I take you through all the important stuff that you need to know. Blue Tie says, brand aside, any opinions on mirrorless? Terry?
I tried a mirrorless camera. I won't mention the brand. Great camera. No problem with the camera itself. But what I could not get used to, since I'm a studio shooter most of the time, was just not being able to literally look through the glass. Because when you look at a mirrorless camera, you're looking at an LCD screen. And it's just, I don't know how to say it other than it's just not the same. So mirrorless for landscapes outside, perfect. But in studio, not for me.
I totally agree. I had the same experience. I will say this is when I talk to people about mirrorless, it's always the same thing. Every single time. I can't remember. I'm serious. I haven't had someone give me a legitimate reason they switched to mirrorless other than it's
Smaller,
always
lighter?
the same thing. They go, I really wanted to get something smaller and lighter,
yeah.
which is the biggest scam in photography today. It is the single biggest scam in all of photography. Because here's what, and they've done this. People have done this online. Websites have done it. Ken Rockwell's done it. All kinds of people have done it. They'll take a DSLR from Nikon and they put a lens on it. Once you put a decent lens on a mirrorless camera, it is every bit as heavy or heavier than a DSLR with the same lens. It is the biggest sucker thing. Now, if you're willing to go with a crap lens, it'll be lighter. If you're like, you know what, I really don't care about it. I've given up on photography. I just want something light. Then get a mirrorless. But if you can name to me what you get with a mirrorless besides the false sense of
smaller, lighter.
light,
Yeah.
it's not smaller, it's not lighter, and it feels like crap in your hands. I haven't held a mirrorless camera. They look great.
Yeah.
But I haven't held one that feels really good. They don't feel good. They're not ergonomic. They're made for how they look, old school. They're not made for ergonomically at all. Now, that being said, I've shot the Sony. I shot the Sony AR7 II. Oh my God, the sensor.
I shot the same one.
The sensor, amazing.
It is.
And that's all I can say. Okay, great sensor though. Would love to have that sensor in something else. Love to have that sensor in a totally different body. If Sony would just sell the sensor. So did you see where Sony introduced a new version of the 3, right? They introduced a new one with like half the megapixels and like $1,000
Oh,
less.
no,
than-
I didn't see that.
Yeah, they did. It's like it was at where were we? WPPI last
Cool.
week. All right. Theo wants to know which countries are on your bucket list. Terry White, go.
Of all the places, one came up during the grid here. I've never been to Dubai.
Dubai's nice.
Every time there was a tour where I could have gone to Dubai, I ended up going to Singapore or somewhere else because someone else went to Dubai. So Dubai would be one, and Tokyo would probably be the other one. I've been to the airport, but that doesn't count. So I've never been to Tokyo.
I actually happen to have a list on my phone.
You actually have your bucket list.
I have a list. I have the list I keep with me. All right, let me get it here. Hold on 1 second. That's not it.
All right, well, while you're looking up your list, I saw one that was a quick one there. Theo was asking, what's the funniest mistakes people make in Photoshop? And it's usually they forgot something, like so they left an extra arm or they left something that should have been removed, right? So something that shows like a person has 3 arms all of a sudden, 3 legs all of a sudden, they just left something that should have been removed. All right, bucket list.
Here we go. This is my travel locations wish list. It's a list and a half. Patagonia,
Okay.
Norway. I hope to go to Norway this year. That's one of my family vacation. I want to go to China, but I've been to China a couple of times already, 3 times. But I don't want to go back to Beijing or Hong Kong. I want to go where the fisherman is on the boat, the old man. There's only one left. His name is Bernie. And then and there's crazy rocks from like Avatar. That's where I want to go. And I might be doing a workshop there next year.
Nice.
What? All right. And no, that's not Venice, Florida. Okay. The Scottish Highlands. I've been to Scotland, but it was a long time ago.
Yep.
I want to go to Bora Bora. I want to go to Antarctica, but that's way down my list. I want to go to Myanmar, Namibia, Zermatt, Switzerland. Might make it there. Fez and the Sahara Desert. Might make it there. Moscow. Not the greatest time to be an American going to Moscow. No, you've been to Moscow?
Yeah.
You probably went when they liked Americans.
Yeah, well, I don't know if that was ever a time, but I've been a couple times.
They liked us more than they do now. The Faroe Islands and Denmark, and then I want to go, and I'm hopefully doing this spring, or excuse me, early summer, the lavender fields of Provence, France. Oh. Provence, Mr. Cyr. All right. Places I want to go back to. I want to go back to Tuscany, back to Paris, back to Rome, back to Scotland, back to Ireland, back to Santorini, and I want to go to Dubai. I want to stay in Dubai, but then for a few nights, I want to go to Abu Dhabi to stay at the Qasr Al Sarab Desert Resort. I want to stay in a particular place.
I gotta go make an actual list because you made a list and that sounds cool.
Gotta make a list. Yeah. All right, let's see. Steve says, I used to watch the grid from Ireland in the evening time. Now I'd moved to Newcastle in Australia, and I'm still getting used to tuning in over my breakfast. Steve, we're not good over breakfast. We do not go well with eggs and bacon, and I don't know if that's what you have, but I hope you don't have like blood pudding. Eric Kuna wants us to discuss 3 topics that we're going to kind of dig into in depth here, and they are number 1, Mac or PC, Canon or Nikon, and Android or iOS. Can we also do Bose versus everyone? What other controversial topics are there?
Other motorcycles, guitars, things like that.
All right.
So, Mac, Nikon, iOS.
There you go. Boom. All right. Let's see. So this is a note from Jen. Jen says, the grid chatters have created a new drinking game. Every time you say, Chiquinando, they drink. It's Chiquinando. All right. So let's see. Dan says, sorry for commenting on last week's live, but you critiqued my photos and you changed my view on overprocessing. Thank you. All right. Cheryl says, hi from Colorado. I won the Ultra Plata Pod a couple of weeks ago. Thanks. It's awesome. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. Charlotte says, can you please tell us again where to find your videos? Lightroom CC training mostly. So I mentioned just a minute ago that my class just came out, the Lightroom CC, Learn Lightroom CC in 1 hour. I actually think, to be quite honest with you, I think it went to like 1 hour and 4 minutes, but
that is being very honest.
that was like,
All
yeah.
right.
I warned people though. I said, I'm at the 1 hour mark. You can stop watching now, but I think I have 4 minutes left.
And my videos are at terrywhite.tv.
Yeah, mine are at kelby1.com. So go over there, and there you go. All right, let's see. Johan says, Scott, a whole class on Kelby 1 about Photoshop or about Lightroom. That would be awesome. Wink. That's funny. So we have 200 classes on Photoshop and 51 plus 200 plus classes on Photoshop. 51 full-length classes just on Lightroom.
That's awesome.
It's crazy. It's ridiculous. Is there a class on Kelby that covers the business side? Donna, there's a ton of classes. There's not just one. But if I had to recommend one, Donna, here's where I would start, because this will get you so excited and motivated and has so much like really down-to-earth information. Go watch Tim Wallace's class. Now, it's 2 parts. It's about building your business and all that from scratch. But it's like a part 1 and a part 2. Go watch part 1, of course, first. Donna, you will love it, and then you'll uncover tons and tons and tons of classes on business from everybody you can think of. Johan says, Scott, you often say the hardware doesn't matter and you don't need to update. I have a Nikon D90 and I have my doubts. Should I update my camera? So,
yes.
Well, Johan, let me just say this.
I'm going to say yes.
Okay, yeah.
From the standpoint of how old that particular camera is.
Yeah, Johan, you have held on to that one for a while. Now, let's back this up. Can you make good pictures with a D90?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you probably are.
Can you make great pictures with a Nikon D90? Absolutely. Can you make world-class photos on a Nikon D90? Yes. Will you enjoy a new camera a whole lot more? Yes. So if you can afford it, I would go ahead and it's time. I mean, and you know what? You can get some good deals on cameras, because you know what, Johan? You do not have to go and buy the very latest, greatest Nikon to have an entirely different experience. The D90's got to be how many years old?
That was a little trivia. That was the first DSLR to have video.
Ooh, that's a while.
that's how I know that camera. That camera's been a while. It's been a while.
We're going to find out here for you. Hold on there. All right, it came out in 2008. It is exactly 10
years old. I would say you got your money's worth out of that.
I'm thinking, yeah, might want
to step up just a little.
Time to step up. Okay. Hey, see this picture on screen? I was going to mention this. So I did an article this last week called, what did I call it? The 5 agonizing stages of photography. The 5 agonizing stages of photography. And I ran it, I think, last Friday, I believe, for the weekend. And it is one of the articles that I had the most positive feedback in. I had people saying, Scott, this is the best thing you've ever written. This is the best thing you've written in 3 years. This is the best thing, blah, 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 blah. If you get a chance, go check it out. It's over at scottkelby.com. It was last Friday, so like Friday, March 1st or somewhere right around there. Go check it out. And you'll find one of those stages that you're in. A lot of people found out kind of where they were, anyway, I've gotten such great comments on it. I'd love to share it with you. Kevin says Tim Wallace's course on business That alone paid for my Kelby One subscription all by itself. Yeah,
Cool.
go check out those classes. They're great. Tim Reimer says, Scott, it's been a while since your Slim class was released. Do you have any updated tweaks? So, Todd, I'm still using the same online backup service, but I am thinking of updating that class because I have tweaked it a little bit. And that is one that I just was thinking about this last week. I was thinking, might be time to do that. So the Slim class is my simplified Lightroom image management class. So I think I'll probably have to do that one. So which means, you know what I have to do to actually do that? I do this. Hey, Jen, I'm going to update that class. And then Jen will like make it all happen. Now, she doesn't actually teach the class, but she bugs me like, you're taping tomorrow at 4. I'm like, what? I don't want to tape. She's like, no, you got to tape. No. All right. Let's see. Scott, when are you going to update the gear section on your blog? All the roller bags you lifted have been discontinued.
I have the same problem. I have a gear
All
list
right,
on
John,
my blog.
I'll go do it.
Yeah.
You're right. I'm on it. I'll do it this weekend. Let's see. Michael Dow says, is there any genre of photography that you haven't done or that you'd like to do more of? Terry.
I have not done automotive photography, but I just dabbled in taking some pictures recently of my car. I want to play more with that. That would be one that I'd like to do more of.
Yeah. For me, it would be definitely male nudes. I really want to focus. I just said that for Jen's over there just dying. Actually, I would say that I'm. Is there a genre of photography you haven't done you would like to do more of? Well, I mean, there's always I would like to do more of travel photography. The reason why I want to do more travel photography is I'm
You get to
traveling.
travel, right?
So I would love to take more family vacations. And I will say this, when I go on vacation with my family, of course, my wife's an iPhoneographer and my daughter's just awesome. And so they're really supportive. They're like totally cool with, going to shooting and, whatever. They're
Right.
like, in our family, it's changed. Like I'm like in the car or standing at the Uber or in the bus and I have to go get Calibra. I'm
Yeah.
like, honey, you got to go. But there's just one thing. Just give me a minute. And like, honey, the bus is leaving. That kind of thing. All right. So Sandra asks, hey, thanks for the 18-200 recommendation. What brand? I can't remember. Did you say you were Canon? Canon makes an 18-200. It's not bad. Can I tell you this, Sandra? No one makes a really great 18-200. It's not a kick butt lens. It's a perfect range, but I can't tell you that anybody makes an amazing.
One of the happiest days, and this kind of goes in line with another question I saw about. So I'll answer two. So Dave R. asked, Scott, Terry, a lot of photographers are gear hogs. What one piece of gear you wish you'd never bought, and what's on your Christmas list for Santa? So I bought an 18-200 back in the day. That would have been the answer. I wish I'd never bought that lens.
Yeah, but yours was messed up.
Mine was
right,
right, and I was the happiest day of my life was when I got rid of it.
Well, Terry bought one and it was a Nikon, right? It was a
Yep.
brand Nikon. All right. So what Terry's problem was is unique to Terry because I never saw. Terry's barrel would just fall out.
No, that wasn't the problem. It was the sharpness.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was like some pictures would be tack sharp.
Didn't you have the barrel problem?
Nope, that wasn't mine.
Oh, okay.
Like mine was fine.
Somebody I know had a barrel problem.
And some would be like just soft focus around the edges. And it was just like you could never tell when you were going to get the right shot.
So don't get the Nikon 18-200, clearly. Look at the
but
Tamron.
But back when you
Sigma.
had one, yours was fine.
Mine was fine.
Yeah.
I have huge 60-inch prints I took with that thing. So, all right. So let's see I'm trying to think of what piece of gear that I wish I'll tell you what I wish I'd never bought. I bought I bought some photogenic strobes early on, and I just never connected with them. Like, I just never really liked them. They weren't bad. I couldn't tell you what it was that I didn't like about them. I just never, you have to kind of bond with your gear. I just like, bleh. The other thing was I bought a white lightning strobe. I hated that strobe. I couldn't wait to sell that strobe. I hated that. And then I had the worst single piece of equipment ever probably was an Alien Bees ring flash. Dude, that thing, I can't even tell you. That was the worst thing I ever bought. Alien Bees.
What's on your wish list? Like, what do you want next?
Well, I'm working on some stuff.
For me, it's if you go to my blog, terrywhite.com, you'll see recently I did a review on the Nikon D850. I want a DA50. Like that's on my wish list.
I
They
don't- I
sent
don't
me
have a
one. They sent me
camera
one to
lens.
review, and I sent it back because I had to. But that is on my wish list.
Yeah, I've got all the cameras and lenses, and I'm covered in that thing. I'm working on something. There are a couple of things I don't want to announce it until I get my stuff. But I'm waiting for my stuff to arrive. When I get it, I'll show you. But it's not lenses, it's not cameras. I ordered 500 Plata Pods. No, let's see. So, question, Scott and Terry, is there still something missing in Photoshop or Lightroom that you would like to have added to an upcoming version?
Oh, I'm sure we have a long.
All
We
right.
both have lists.
My list for Photoshop is very, very short because Photoshop is so mature. It's been around for so long. Johan, I'm not kidding you. I could do an entire Lightroom show on things I want to see added to Lightroom. If you want to see, go to lightroomkillertips.com, my blog over about Lightroom. Go to lightroomkillertips.com and you can find, just search for what I wish was in the next Lightroom and you'll see all kinds of stuff that Adobe never puts in there. Todd says, is there a way to add keywords in Lightroom in a static order that will be carried over to Adobe Stock
Oh, I know what he's talking about.
instead of being
No, because when you put the keywords in Lightroom Classic, they're always, no matter how you type them in, they always alphabetize.
Right, sure.
So what he wants is for them to carry over to Adobe Stock in the order they were typed in. And so I had the same problem, and to the point where I just stopped doing them in Lightroom. Because now when you send your picture over from Lightroom over to Adobe Stock, first of all, if you don't put any keywords in, then Adobe Sensei will add keywords for you automatically. And I like that better because then I only have to put in the missing ones, the ones that it did not put in for me. So I used to do it. You're right, it's a pain that it does it alphabetically, but now I don't even worry about it. I don't put them in Lightroom at all.
Okay, can't answer questions that long because we're out of time.
Sorry.
Every other question will have to be answered with a yes or
seconds.
no, even
Yes,
if it
no.
requires a longer answer.
Yes. No. No.
Any Kickstarter projects you love?
Nope.
Can collections be made from one catalog and be placed in another catalog using Lightroom CC?
Well,
No.
yeah, no. You can import a catalog into Lightroom CC and maybe do it that way, but that's about it.
Christy just has a comment. She says, I just cleaned my CCD while watching the grid. What a great day.
No.
That's a no. Andrew says, what's your advice for speeding up Lightroom? I use an A7R3 and an A9, and they both seem to be getting slower and slower. I have a Mac Pro 6 core. So, Andrew, Terry's not allowed to answer yes or no, so I'll tell you, make sure first that you have 16 gig of RAM. If you don't have 16 gig of RAM, you're in a bad place. Number two, make sure you have the latest, very latest, like last week update version of Lightroom, which is significantly faster than any previous version. Make sure you have 16 gigs, make sure you have the latest version. If you have Lightroom 6, your life will be misery. Joanne says, for Terry, when will they fix the emailing with captions? The images always go in reverse order from the captions. They don't match up. Please ask Adobe to fix this.
Well, first of all, it's news to me. Didn't even know that was a bug, but it's easier for you to ask Adobe to fix it because they'll pay more attention to you
Yeah,
as
they
a
don't
customer
listen to anything that Terry says.
than me as an employee.
Zero. They just, you know what they say when Terry says? They go, you're an employee, and then they say no. And they say it in an angry face. And they send emojis that are just disgusting. All right. We have a question here for Terry from Chiquinando. It's a Chiquinando. How do you make your brush bigger or smaller on an international keyboard since the international keyboards
Don't
do
have
not
the
have
bracket
the
keys.
brackets in the same place?
I don't know. I've never had an international keyboard to try
All
it
right,
on.
Chiquinando, don't ask people from America this question. You need to go to the Portuguese Photoshop forum and say, hey, all right, Dalton, who's here in the studio, asks, Photo Mechanic or Lightroom for culling? For my sports photography, I've been using Photo Mechanic. I have to use Photo Mechanic because of the metadata required for news wire services and stuff. But the new Lightroom is much faster. So it's not as necessary as long as you're not doing metadata keywording. If you're doing keywording for like a sports server or something, you have to use Photo Mechanics. So does that answer your question? For sports, you must. For the rest of not so much. Jay says, is there a way to find out who purchases your Adobe stock images? Nope. Say no, Tay.
Nope.
Let's see. And Robin says, speaking of certification, is the plan still on to offer them on Kelby One? Yes, our web team is working hard at it right now. And as soon as we have it ready, believe me, you'll be the first to know. Jock says, I always put being a Kelby One member on my resume. Hey, Jock, we'll have something better to put on your resume soon. Carissa says, say what? You're coming to Atlanta to the ATL when? March. It's like 2 weeks from now, something like that. Go to kelbyonelive.com. And it's right there. Manuel says, hi, Scott and Terry. Greetings from Portugal. Hey, Manuel, can you do us a favor? Tell Chiqui Nando where the brush is resize on the international keyboard. I'd like to hear your thoughts about using the Magic Lantern in Canon cameras. So that's a video thing. I'm out.
I don't shoot Canon, so I'm out.
There, we're all out. Sorry. Jackie says, I'm from Wisconsin. Spray cheese is not cheese. Okay. All right, Jackie, we got to talk.
All right,
Jackie,
wait.
I'm taking off my glasses.
Okay. We're out of time. We only have a few more questions left. Can that one be at the end?
Can be the last one.
Okay.
That way you can decide, you know. Oh, Theo asked the silliest question of the day. What is your favorite food during a food shoot?
My favorite food during a shoot.
Yeah, spray cheese. The can. You light the can just right. It glistens. It gets this little kiss of light right where it says real cheese or does not need refrigeration. You get that lit just right.
There you go.
All right. Deb Usilka, the awesome Deb Usilka, I might add, says, what is your favorite Apple Watch app, Terry?
Besides the ones that are built in, so I'm thinking third party, it's called Let Me Tip. It's a tip calculator. It's awesome.
My favorite is the Delta app.
I hate the Delta app.
I love the Delta app
the
because
watch?
like I'm going through the Atlanta airport, you know, and it goes, oh, your gate's changed. And what? I had the worst gate change of my entire life in Houston last week.
One end of the airport to the other?
I was in like, but it's like getting ready to board.
I know.
Like it's like, hey, well, I want to get a drink, but no, we better stand here because they're getting ready to board. And it goes, you're changing to C? I'm like an A. It would be absolutely impossible to make that flight. But we saw a guy with a car and we said, can you please take us? He goes, where are you going? I go, we're going to C. He's like, oh, you'll never make it. Get on. He drove us all the way to our gate. It was me and another family. We never would have made it. All right, we're going to talk to Jackie in a minute. Don't go away. Scott says, I'm looking forward to Photoshop World. Can't get here fast enough. Well, can for Terry. He's not even sure he's teaching. Daryl says, I'm trying to decide on an online backup service. I do backup locally. I have about 2.5 terabyte. Do you have any recommendation? Daryl, go look at Backblaze.
That's
$5 a month.
Yeah, that's what I'm switching to.
Unlimited online storage. Unlimited. $5 a month. I've got Backblaze. I'm all Backblaze backed up right this very minute. All right. Mike says, when are you coming back to Northern California? Aren't I going to Sacramento or something? Sacramento! Keep an eye on Kelby One Live for me. Terry, when are you in Northern California?
I don't know. Keep an eye on terrywhite.com. My schedule's there.
All right, Jackie, we need to talk.
Here it comes.
Jackie, it's just us talking. Everybody else tune out because I don't want you to hear the words I'm going to be used to Jackie. Taking my glasses off Eddie Tapp style. So when Eddie Tapp is one of my favorite trainers. Eddie's such a great instructor, and he's really into drones and stuff. But when Eddie wants to make like a point, Eddie turns towards the camera, he takes his glasses off and goes, Jackie? And the whole room lit. What's he going to say? So Jackie, I'm going to be straight with you. It's just you and me. Everyone else. Has everybody tuned out? Everyone's left the show, Jen? Yeah, Jen says everyone's left. Okay, so it's just us two. All the questions are wiped out. It's just, you know. Juan, turn your head. So here's the thing. So Jackie, you know I like spray cheese. I've mentioned it on my blog. I mentioned it here on the show. When I go on the road now, people bring me spray cheese. I love these people. These are my people. But one day I mentioned it on Facebook, and a guy started calling me out from Wisconsin and saying, that's not cheese. You need to come to Wisconsin and have cheese. And I wrote, you know, laughing out loud and stuff. And the reason I said laughing out loud, and I want you to hear me, this is important. When you say Wisconsin has real cheese, people in France and in Switzerland fall over laughing. Never look down on another man's cheese. because cheese is the thing that binds us together. You've heard it, cheese binds.
It does, in not good ways. It does.
I want you to think about this. This is important. Don't ever look down on another man's cheese. Because as you're looking down on Kraft, Italy, Switzerland, France, probably even Portugal, are all looking down on Wisconsin. And they're like, they think that's cheese. Don't go there. This is just you and me talking. I'm coming to Wisconsin soon. And I want you, Jackie, to meet me at the convention center. I want the one with the blue lid. Don't get the yellow. The yellow, this is going to sound crazy when I say this, but this is the absolute truth about street. And no one will tell you this, damn it, Jackie. I'm going to tell you because nobody else will. The yellow can of spray cheese, it says cheddar and you think it would be better? It's not. It's the blue can, American cheese. That's the one. Don't come at me with yellow cheese. Do not come at me. I'll send it right back to you. I'll go, no, this is the wrong one. I hand it back. It's chicken and a biscuit for the cracker, and it's the blue top. That's it, all right? And then when you and I sit there, this is before the seminar even starts, it's morning. I'm gonna let you come to the room. I have this like a green room where I sit and just cry before I go on. I sob gently. We're gonna split that box. We're gonna open it right there, and it's gonna change your life forever. And you will never, ever say another bad word about it. You'll start buying it as Christmas gifts. You're laughing. You guys are laughing. I'm telling you, it is going to change your world. And you single-handedly, Jackie, have the power to make Wisconsin the spray cheese capital of America. And you know what will happen then? We'll get the respect we deserve from the French, from the Swiss, from the Italians, and from Chiquinando. They have good cheese in Portugal. I was there. I had some. In fact, I had cheese at Chiquinando's house. That's how good the cheese is. It's at Chiquinando's. So are you with me, Jackie? Blue top. Here's how you remember, and this is how we do it in our house. The top matches the color of the box of chicken and a biscuit. If those two colors don't match, you've got the wrong cheese or the wrong crackers. Don't come at me with Ritz. It's the two of them. There's something in the chemicals, and it interacts, it activates. The cheese activates the cracker, I'm telling you. Rose says, as soon as I arrive in America, I'm going to get my can of cheese and crackers and chill out. Pete says, you might be too serious about cheese. And Avian says, best grid ending forever. Nope. It's not the best ending until we sing the cheese song to take us out. Here we go. Oh, crap, there really isn't a cheese song.
I was waiting for this. I don't know the cheese song. I'm like, I'm going to have to like pretend.
What if we took the Oscar Mayer Wiener song and inserted cheese into it?
Dude, you don't want to start a hot dog war.
All right.
You just don't.
Well, Terry, thank you very much for being our guest.
It's been a blast.
For those of you who are watching and thinking, how do I win that stuff that you talked about earlier? Go to kelby1.com/contest. You got to tell us what you want to win when you go to there. kelby1.com/contest. You have to say, I want to win the Plata Pod. I want to win the Plata Pod Max, which is the big one, the Ultra, which is the little one, or how do I do that in Photoshop? Tell us which one you want to win. We'll send it to you anywhere in the world because we're loose with money. And Jen, thank you for moderating. Thank you to our studio audience. Chris, Dalton,
Jen.
Thank you guys for
Juan.
hanging over there. Juan, as always, wonderful time. Good seeing you. And to our crew in the booth there, Ron and Jason. Jason, can we take a quick look at Juan's Instagram before we go? Because just want everyone to make sure. _Juan Alfonso. There it is right there. We got to see those numbers go up, people. We have to get to 1,000 by what is this? By April 1st. So spread the word, tell people, and there you go. Thanks, everybody. Thank you, Mr. White. Where can people learn more about you?
You can learn more about me at terrywhite.com and terrywhite.tv.
How about you don't really have anybody that follows you on YouTube. Are you going to build your page?
I know. I was trying to get to like 500,000 sometime soon.
What do you got over there, Terry? Is that 400,000? Oh, Terry.
Yeah.
Terry's got a lot of 400 and something thousand subscribers. That's crazy.
It's mostly cat videos.
It is mostly cat videos. But I tell you what, he's got some tabbies in there. You can't drive you crazy. I'll tell you what, Terry, you start getting a tabby to eat some spray cheese, I'll watch it myself.
I'm going to start doing spray cheese tutorials.
Oh, dude.
All right. That's it. Spray cheese from here on out.
All right.
The number's just going to drop.
numbers are dropping like a rock. We'll see you guys next time right here in the grid.
All right.
Terry.
Thanks, everybody. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you on the next one.
You took us out. Good job.